This is going to be a demonstration on how to make a soy emergency candle out of a 16-ounce ball mason jar. You can use any type of like high heat mason jar, you know, used for jarring. So, but it's going to look just like this. Got your top, got your wick down in there. It's a candle. Pretty simple. These burn for about 50 hours. Some burn longer, some burn less. It all depends on many factors: wind, draft, cold, hot, all that stuff. So first thing you're going to do before you do anything is take your brand new jar and clean the inside of it out with Dawn dish soap. So even if the jar is brand new, never before used, when it's actually made, there's like manufacturer, I don't know what it is, but it is really hard to get off, but Dawn does a really good job. So do that, dry it out, make sure there is absolutely no water inside this jar, otherwise it's going to cause problems. Next, you're going to measure out your wax. Now, to fill it up to about here, which is exactly where you want to be, you want to fill it up to about where it starts to crest right here, or curve, whatever, and that's going to be 12.8 ounces of wax. But you want to measure out 13 ounces of wax, because when you actually pour it, you're going to have some left over in your pouring container pitcher thing. So it's just what happens. So I've calculated about a 0.2 ounce loss. So 13 ounces, we'll put 12.8 ounces in here. Measure that out. Now, today we're going to be using Golden Brand's 415 soy wax. It is 100% no additive wax, like no paraffin, no anything. It is 100% natural wax. What I use for just about everything. It burns clean. You can leave it inside. Really good stuff, and you can get about 45 pounds of it for about $65 plus shipping. So fairly inexpensive. As far as wicks, this is a 100% cotton with paper core Eco 16 wick. This wick I chose specifically for this size jar because it's an emergency candle. You want a good bit of light, you don't want a whole lot of smoke, and you don't want a little average candle, little dinky light, you know, that just kind of creates an ambiance or whatever they call it. You want light. So, and Eco 16 cotton wick. So when you're searching for wicks, just type in Eco 16. They're all over the place. You're also going to have to pick up wick stickers. I'll show you what a wick sticker is. It's pretty simple. It's a wick sticker. You put it on the bottom, and it holds your wick in place. Now, you're going to need to put your wick in the center of this jar. You can use your finger. If you have really long fingers, you can try to maneuver it in there, you know, best you can, but with these wick stickers, whatever you touch is what it's going to stick to, and it is not going to come off. But make sure that this wick is centered. If it is off to one side at all, the flame as it burns down is going to either touch the glass or get too close to the glass, and it's going to get hot, and it could be a fire hazard. It could crack the glass, could cause heating. You're just going to have a bad time. So you can use one of these. You can just kind of maneuver it in there and just kind of stick it down like that. But since I make candles all the time, I have a wick centering tool. If you want to get one, that's exactly what it's called, a wick centering tool. Just like that. Simple. Alright. Next, you're going to want to take a popsicle stick or a wick holder, which I happen to have one. This is what a standard wick holder looks like. Just kind of goes like that. Stick it in there. Depending on what size jar you have. I normally don't use these because, like you see, they're kind of a pain to use, but some people swear by them. You just put it over there and you can just leave it and it's done. But they're not great. Like I said, some people swear by them. I'm not a big fan. So take a popsicle stick and put a hole in it. Can't get much more simple than that. Now keep it relatively centered and kind of put a little bit of tension on it. Don't pull it up or pull it out, and fold it over. I'll show you when I'm done. You're going to fold it all the way over and kind of mash the wax mash the wax wick into the wood, and it's going to look like so. And your candle jar is ready. So we're going to put this away because we really don't need it. And next you're going to want to heat your wax. I've already finished this step because no one really wants to sit and wait for someone to melt wax. The easiest way to melt wax is the double boiler method. You take a pot, you put some water in it, you take a pitcher, you can take a pitcher made of Pyrex, you can take a candle making pitcher, anything like that. Heat it to 180 degrees. You can heat it a little bit hot. You can heat it a little bit hotter, just don't go over 190. So you heat it. It's 174, good enough. And we're going to do something that just about every candle maker is going to tell you, no, don't. You're messing up. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute, because I forgot one step. You need to take a hair dryer or a heat gun and set it on low, and you need to preheat your jar. Preheating your jar is going to prevent the wax from instantly solidifying when it touches the cold inside of the jar. If that happens, it's going to shrink. It's pretty much a cosmetic thing. It's going to burn exactly the same. It's just a cosmetic defect. It's just going to look ugly. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. That's literally all you need to do. You can feel it. The jar is warm. That's it. So you take a paper towel, because I don't like to make a mess. And yes, this is a bona fide wick stir, aka a chopstick, because they are cheap and they work perfectly. And the good thing about soy wax is if you get it on your hands, it's not like paraffin wax or just about any other beeswax. It comes off really, really easily. So you take your heated wax out, and like I said before, most people are going to look at you and what I'm about to do and be like, no, you're about to mess up. This is not going to be a beautiful candle or anything. This candle is going to serve one purpose and one purpose only. It is going to give you light when you don't have any. So we are not going to let this wax cool down to the proper pouring temperature, which is about 120 degrees, mainly just because it just takes too long. And two, if there's no scent and no anything in it, it really doesn't matter anyway. And we're gonna pour at a hot temperature. Pour at 170 to 180 degrees, and make sure no water gets in here. So, and you don't want to pour super slow, but you don't want to pour really fast. If you pour really fast, you're going to get air bubbles, and that will cause an issue with burning. So, take a paper towel, hold it, pour. This is about the proper pouring speed right here. You can see about how long it's taking me. Really simple process. Once you do it once, you'll understand it. We'll fill it up a little bit more. Right there. set that back in there, and you can make yourself another one. You can add more wax and make however many you want. But it is 13 ounces of wax in here. Now 13 ounces by weight. So it's 13 ounces for one candle. So it's 13 ounces and then 12.8 goes in here. That is the magic number. And as you can see, it fills it up right there. So that is perfect. Now, what you want to do, if your wick's not perfectly centered, kind of move it around. That's it. Don't touch it. Now, make sure there's no draft, so you don't have a fan blowing on it, anything like that. Just let it solidify for a good 24 hours. After that, you can use it, you can store it, whatever you want. Now, keep in mind that 100% natural soy wax will have a shelf life of 2 to 3 years, and it's normally 2 years, but I've seen people do it 3 years and it's still perfectly fine. Now, I know other waxes can go for a long time, but my personal opinion, those waxes are toxic and I just don't use them. So 2, 3 years at most if stored properly in a cool, dry place, just your standard storing routine. So now I actually sell candles that are just like this but last for 5 years, but those look like this and they are hermetically sealed. So, oh wait, I'm sorry, I grabbed the wrong candle. Anyway, well, mine look exactly like this, but they are hermetically vacuum sealed, so their shelf life is about 5 years. So actually I'll go show you one, just 1 second. There we go. Literally the same jars. The only difference between the ones that you're going to make and the ones that I make are these have a 2-year and these have a 5-year. That's it. They're going to burn the same, they use the same wick, they're going to give you the same amount of light. So hope this video helps somebody out. This is really simple. You can make a whole bunch of these in about 35 minutes. So simple, easy. Have a good one.